In this video, we'll break down the NFL Week 6 main slate on DraftKings and FanDuel as we prepare full cash lineups on both sites. And it's coming up next. Hello, everyone. I'm Eric Lee.
And I'm Michael Wiley, and we're the Fantasy Football Consultants. Eric, let's get right to it this week. We usually like to see if we can find some core players that we like both in FanDuel and DraftKings, and we have two this week. I'll go ahead and get it started. I'm going to pick on that Carolina-Atlanta game, take advantage of a poor passing defense and a quarterback who looks pretty sharp right now in Kirk Cousins, and go with Drake London. He is $6,700 on DraftKings, $74 on FanDuel, which I feel like is a pretty good bargain for relatively clear number one and a superstar. I've been following this kid since he was at USC. He's a big body, has speed, good hands, target possession receiver, and going up against the 26th pass defense in the league. He's been averaging 11 targets a game in the last 3 games, with obviously a really nice target number this last week. He's a stud, and at this price, I feel like we got to get him in both of these lineups. What do you think?
Yeah, like it. And I'm going to stay in that same game. On the other side is running back Chuba Hubbard, $6,300 on DraftKings and $7,400 on FanDuel. Look, the last 3 weeks tells the story. Hubbard is a bell cow. He's averaged 22 touches per game in that span. He is the goal line back. He has scored in each of the last 3 games, and he gets involved in the passing game. In the last 4 games, he has gotten at least 4 receptions in each of the games. And this week, he's at home, and he's playing Atlanta, the 29th ranked rush defense. I'm excited to get Hubbard in both our lineups.
Eric, you've been getting this guy in every week. I'm starting to think maybe he's your favorite player in the league. Did you pick him up on waiver wire a few weeks ago?
Well, you know what? I'll tell you, I'll make you a deal. When he stops producing, I'll stop putting him in my lineup. And basically, as soon as Jonathan Brooks comes back, probably. So, hey, let's enjoy the ride while we have it. Let's fill out the rest of our DraftKings lineup to see how we fill it out.
Okay, Eric, before we get to it, just a friendly reminder to, hit that like button, comment in the comment section. We want to hear from you guys. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe. We'd love to have that happen. Eric, here we are in DraftKings. We got $37,000 available, so a little over almost $5,300 a player. And I'm going to save us a few dollars and, well, I guess come right in at that $5,300. If you scroll down on the wide receivers, please. We're going to stick with the same game that we've been talking about and take advantage of this awful Panthers defense. It's Darnell Mooney, again, at $5,300. If you saw how much, he looked like the Darnell Mooney that we all knew Chicago had and didn't take advantage of. And Kirk Cousins is great at finding athletes. And that's what Darnell Mooney represents. Hey, to some extent, this is a huge floor between the two. Between London and Mooney, you're going to get some production. Now, is it possible that one of them goes crazy and has a phenomenal week and that takes away from the other? Well, that didn't happen last week. They both had phenomenal weeks. But yes, that's possible. And so part of what you're doing here is just making sure you have a very high floor with these two capable and really relatively low priced receivers. 16 targets last week. I mean, come on. What else do you want? Targets is what you want with wideouts, and that's what we got. What do you think, Eric?
No, I like it. And we are going all in against Carolina. But hey, dead last in defense. So not bad to have the 2 wide receivers going up against that. How about let's pick a game a team that is a player that is not in the Atlanta Carolina game. And we'll go to Green Bay. At quarterback, let's get Jordan Love in the lineup. Basically, everything that you would want in a quarterback, according to our NFL DFS Master Class, you get with Jordan Love. He's a mid-range quarterback. So again, remember, paying up at the top for a quarterback is a luxury, it is not a necessity. But you're getting a guy who is a home favorite with a very, very good implied total, 27, going up against the 28th ranked defense. Man, I cannot believe that that Jordan Love is still being priced at 6,600. Now, I get it in this matchup. As much as I like the matchup, Love doesn't do a whole lot on the ground. He's coming back from an injury, so I'm hoping that we get a little more out of him on the ground this week.
Yeah, no, and if you watched him at University of Nevada, he really is a dual purpose quarterback. He can use his legs, and I think we're going to see that, especially if Green Bay continues to be a team with playoff potential. So I'm going to go to a different game, and I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Saints game, and go with the Tampa Bay's tight end. So another very well priced guy. Can't believe he's going for this low with how Baker Mayfield's been looking to him. It's Cade Otton at $3,500. Going up against the 21st ranked pass defense in the league, the Saints, who looked pretty bad just last night. It was the Monday night game. The Saints didn't look great against the pass, especially, and I think that's going to bode well for Cade Otton. Still a young buck out of University of Washington. Got good hands, averaging 7 targets a game in the last 3 games, if I see that right. And he's only $3,500. We got to save some money somewhere, Eric, and this is a great spot to save that money.
Love it, and I love that he's facing a team that's 31st against tight ends. So thank you for saving amount of money. That allows us to spend a little bit at running back, and nothing crazy, but at $6,000, I'm happy to get Tony Pollard in the lineup. Look, Pollard and his Tennessee team is coming off a bye, and they face the Indianapolis Colts. Check that rush defense out by the Indianapolis Colts. They have been giving up yards left and right, both in the air and on the ground. And that's relevant when it comes to Tony Pollard, because the guy can do damage in both areas. In 3 of the 4 games, Michael, Pollard has gotten 19, 22, and 24 touches chronologically, so it's going up. But you go, hey, wait a minute. Why are you not talking about week 3, which honestly, he was a major disappointment with only 9 touches? I'll tell you why. That game got completely away from Tennessee, and I don't think this one will. This is a 1-point spread. So if you believe the lines makers, not that they've been right at all this year, but if you believe the lines makers, this is going to be a close game, and that bodes well for Tony Pollard.
Yeah. I like that pick. We've been saving a few bucks, which allows me to go with the highest touch guy in all the NFL this year, and that's Alvin Kamara. I'm sticking with that New Orleans Tampa Bay game, going to the opposite side, and going to Derek Carr, who might be injured. We don't know exactly what his situation is. Coming out of the game last night, but I don't think that matters. Alvin Kamara he's the guy they hand the ball off to. He's the guy they pass the ball off to. If you had some of the wide receivers on the Saints last night, other than Shaheed, you were thinking, why does Kamara get every single pass? Well, part of it is just the game scheming of Dennis Allen. And a lot of it is Kamara's upside. He's just a super talented guy. He's $7,700. Let's get him in the lineup. And take advantage of the dollar savings that we got with these last few players.
Yeah, one of the things that I think Kamara benefits is when Taysom Hill is out, because when their quarterback, tight end / Mr. Everything, Swiss Army knife is in there, when they get close to the goal line, sometimes they get really creative, which if you have Alvin Kamara, you don't want creativity. You want just hand the ball to Kamara and let him run the ball in. So it looks like Hill is going to be out again. And if that is the case, even like this pick even more. So, and on DraftKings with that full PPR. All right, so let's go to wide receiver for our last spot. And at only 5,500, let's get it the hottest Indianapolis wide receiver, Josh Downs. Look, it's undeniable, folks. He has a rapport with Joe Flacco. Now, I'm going to admit to you, it is unclear right now whether Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco is going to be the starter this come week. By the way, they said, look, as well as Flacco has done, Anthony Richardson is our starting quarterback when he's healthy, Michael, when he's healthy. So we'll see how slow down that they decide to be in getting Anthony Richardson back in there. But anyway, the bottom line is if Flacco starts, I really like Downs. You see what he's done in the 2 games where Flacco has started, and he's a second-year guy, so he's only getting more and more attention as the season has progressed.
Yeah, I'm a Michael Pittman owner, so I've been a little bit disappointed with Josh Downs' performance. So I understand it. Good price. So you must have saved us some money on the defense, right? We got some money left. Let's see what we got available to us.
Sure. Let's let you. I'm going to let you pick, Michael.
Okay, so we can have the Panthers or nobody. Well, I think we'll score a little bit more if we pick the Panthers.
Maybe. Might want to
go. Look, they've averaged 1.4 fantasy points a game. Well, hey, this is a punt defense. I can't really justify them otherwise. Hey, they got 3 sacks against the Raiders. But otherwise, yeah, this is a punt defense. I don't know if you have anything to say, Eric.
Except that nobody would have been better last week because they were -3. But you can't do that, folks. You got to put a defense in your lineup. Michael referenced it. It's the issue of volatility for defense. I mean, Carolina is at home, and with Andy Dalton, that gives them a little better shot to have the game script not be so negative. So we'll see what happens. Interesting lineup this week that we've kind of centered it around. Look, the Atlanta-Carolina game is 4 players in that. I mean, it is weird. Even I that tells people in cash, it's okay to have a wide receiver against your defense, but we have 2 wide receivers against our defense. But think of it as a hedge, and we've got that Tampa Bay New Orleans game. So I really think that we picked on a couple of games that will be high scoring. So as always, tell us what you think, and if there's a player you don't like, swap them out for somebody else. I'm anxious to see, Michael, how do we put our FanDuel lineup together with Hubbard and London as a starting point? All right, here on FanDuel, we have almost 6,500 per player to select to fill out the rest of our lineup, and I'm going to spend a lot of it right off the bat. At running back, I am itching to get a superstar, and the highest player this week is Saquon Barkley. So let's get him in the lineup. It's not just, Michael, that we're playing Saquon Barkley because he's so good, but look at the matchup that he has. So he is a home favorite, 8.5 points. So a huge favorite, the biggest spread of on the main slate, with a ridiculously high implied total of 28. Now, if you go to the game log, you can see the guy is just getting a lot of touches. Now, his worst week was last week, but we've got good news on the horizon. Philadelphia expects to get both A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith back. This is good news for Saquon Barkley. It helps continue to move the sticks. So you might go, but wait a minute. Doesn't that mean there's more competition and therefore Saquon Barkley will get less touches? Week 1, we had both wide receivers healthy for the entire game. That's the only week we've had that. He had 26 touches, right? Yes, Philadelphia is still doing the tush push when it is really on the goal line, but they have no problem using Saquon Barkley at the 2-yard line, at the 3-yard line, in the air and on the ground. I'm ecstatic, Michael, to get him in a lineup.
Yeah, what a huge change it's been for him to have made this move from New York to Philadelphia. I would say that he has had. We all knew when he was at Penn State that he was going to be a beast in the NFL, and the Giants just didn't have the offense and didn't really know how to use him right. And Philadelphia was a great landing place for him. I like this pick a lot,
Michael. And I just want to comment. I don't think I did say that Philadelphia is coming off a bye. So they're fresh, and Cleveland is not coming off a bye. So glad to get Barkley in.
Yeah. Well, I am going to pick on a game that we mentioned when we were talking about DraftKings, when we were picking on the defense of Arizona. And I'm going to go with the receiver to your Jordan Love. And it's his number 1 target. It's Jaden Reed at $7,700. So I'm going to spend a few dollars as well. 24th pass defense in the league. Hey, Jaden Reed is clearly Jordan Love's number 1. Other than the 2 weeks that Jordan Love was out, Jaden Reed has performed nicely. And he's just a special talent. I mean, he's one of these receivers that has a lot of upside. And I think he'll take advantage of this Arizona defense to do that. So let's get him in there. What do you want to go next?
Yeah, love that, because I think that's going to be a really high-scoring game, and Reed will be a big part of that. Let's go to quarterback. And you know what FanDuel has done? It's done this a few times this year. They have brought the Sunday night game into the main slate. So that's Cincinnati and the New York Giants. That wasn't available on the main slate in DraftKings. But I want to fully take advantage of that here, and at the same time save a little money at $6,800. Let's get Daniel Jones in the lineup. Now, I admit, so Daniel Jones isn't the most exciting pick in the world. There's 17 quarterbacks that are priced higher this week than Daniel Jones. But you get him at this price that gives you a floor in cash game because of what he does with his legs. His rushing floor is sensational. And I am hoping to see that he gets his star wide receiver Neighbors back, Malik Neighbors. He's coming off a concussion, but he missed last week. So I'm hopeful that he will be back this week, and that will be a benefit to Jones. He's at home versus a Cincinnati team that is 28th versus QB's fantasy scoring on FanDuel. So Daniel Jones is my guy.
Yeah, no, Neighbors should be back, and Daniel Jones looks like he's picking things up a little bit and using his legs when he's supposed to, which is what he did a few times early last season and prior seasons, and just wasn't able to do it the rest of the year last year. Well, I'm going to continue with this Arizona Green Bay game and go the opposite way with the team that should be probably playing from a little bit behind. And that's to go with another college star, Marvin Harrison Jr., who if you saw Ohio State last year, knew this guy was going to be good. Other than week 1, he's also been really the favorite target and has the most upside of these wideouts. I'd like to see him have a repeat performance of what he did in week 2 against the Rams. While Green Bay defense hasn't historically been the easiest to pick on, they do have a couple of injuries that I think makes it to where Marvin Harrison Jr. has some more upside. So like this pick at $7,000, I'm sticking with this Green Bay game.
All right, I just want to comment that it's not so much on FanDuel, but he's reasonably priced on FanDuel at running back Bijan Robinson. He's even a lot cheaper on DraftKings. Both Michael and I like him. He's struggled all year, but his price is now getting almost too cheap to ignore. The problem is we love their wide receivers and can't have that many Atlanta Falcons in the lineup. But at running back, I'm going to save a lot of money off Bijan Robinson. At $5,400, we get Chase Brown. So Chase Brown's on the Cincinnati Bengals. And if you look at the game log, you're going to see slowly but surely every week, Chase Brown is getting more and more attention on this Cincinnati offense, more touches, more carries. And look for that to go sky high this week, because as of right now, it looks like his committee member, Zach Moss, is not going to play this week. So that means Chase Brown has the backfield all to himself. So I love this at just a ridiculously low price of $5,400.
Yeah, and this is what you got to do in both DraftKings and FanDuel. You got to find these bargains, these underpriced guys who should be a bell cow and weren't expected to be for some reason, and you've gone and done that. I'm going to save us a few extra dollars as well on a guy who I think should be priced a little bit higher. He's at $6,000. It's Tucker Kraft, who all of a sudden has gone kind of crazy the last couple of weeks. Got in the end zone twice. That was part of it. I kind of alluded to this when I almost jumped the gun on DraftKings. Hey, anybody who comes out of South Dakota State and performs, you got to like them. Hey, he had a nice catch and run that gave him the 88 yards. I don't think he's going to repeat that performance, but I think he's got a nice floor.
And I want to comment on that with the thing. And you said it with Jaden Reed, but if you go to Tucker Kraft, I think it is the same thing with Tucker Kraft, right? When Jordan Love is healthy, which he has been in the last 2 weeks, that is directly going to help Tucker Kraft. But FanDuel is factoring in his salary of $6,000 into those Malik Willis weeks, which were really bad. So love this, and that leaves us at defense. I left you with nothing. What did you leave me with? Almost nothing. 2. And I'm not picking the defense that you got stuck with. I am not picking Cleveland. I actually am okay with the New York Giants here. Again, we're picking a defense against one of the players that we have in the lineup, Chase Brown. But I'm fully taking advantage of this Sunday night game. You got the Giants. I don't understand, Michael, why they're $3,100. It's ridiculous. But what do you want in a defense? Well, you'd like them to be home. They are. You would like them to put pressure on the quarterback. Look, I think they're leading the NFL in sacks. If not, they're second. Number one, 4.4 sacks a game. So you're giving me a home defense that leads the league in sacks for the second lowest price? I'm in.
Yeah, hey, look, we saved you an extra $100 so you could do that. I wish someone would have saved me $100 for the DraftKings.
But the Giants weren't on the slate in DraftKings, so you couldn't get them. So yeah, folks, we really, really would like to hear from you. Tell us, what do you like in this main slate? Who would you swap out in our lineup in Pivot 2, or who do you really? We really love it when we hear from you and you say things like, you know what, this guy wasn't even on my radar, but after listening to you, we really like that guy. And definitely check us if you're like, you know what, I don't like that guy for this reason. I'm pivoting elsewhere. You guys are what makes this show really great. So half of the show is watching us. The other half is participating in the comment section. And if you have never participated in the comment section, do us a favor, start today and put in the comments. This is your first time ever posting a comment on FFC. I will promise you, you will get some love for doing that. All right, Michael, another crazy week of the NFL. So unpredictable, but also so fun. Some fantastic finishes. Until we see you guys. And by the way, we will be back next week with the NFL DFS show, but warning, it will not come out until Thursday due to some traveling that your hosts are going to be doing. So watch out for the NFL DFS Week 7 show on Thursday. Until then, take care, everybody.
Bye-bye. We'll put 2 shows on the screen that we think you'll enjoy.